Hey guys, how's it going? This is Cody Reviewer coming back to you with another movie review, but I guess it's more of a controversial topic than it is a movie review, but I'll explain that in a second. So when you hear giant robot, what's the first thing that comes to your mind? Said Power Rangers or if you said Transformers, then you are not wrong, but you're also not correct because the right answer I was looking for was Pacific Rim by Guillermo del Toro, the director of this new movie coming out July 12th. I've read a lot of the reviews, saw some of the reviews, I've read the article. There's a lot of hype for it, a lot of people want to see it, but then there are some people who are unsure about it. So in a sense, that's why it's kind of like flippity floppy right now. Now before I get started with this review, let me go ahead and explain a couple terms and some definitions so you won't get lost when I'm saying these terms and I don't sound too much like an idiot. So the first one is kaiju, and kaiju is Japanese for strange creature, but we derive it as a certain genre of movie, meaning giant monster destroying a city, like Godzilla.
It's Godzilla! It looks like Godzilla, but due to international copyright laws, it's not. Still, we should run like it is Godzilla! Though it isn't. Ah!
Or some of the old classic Japanese films like Mothra and stuff like that. One of the more famous kaiju films in America is King Kong, so there's one. And the other term is mecha, or mech, and that basically means giant mechanized robot, and it's usually piloted by a vessel, more or less a human being. And I'm gonna explain why I think it's very controversial. And the thing is because Guillermo del Toro, he is taking an Asian-inspired kind of theme to this movie and bringing it to Americans. And as we look in the past, like for example, The Last Airbender, that had a lot of hype for it, but it was a flop. Dragon Ball had a lot of hype for it, but that was also a flop. So we don't do too good with it, especially like even the last Godzilla. I mean, some people liked it. I thought it was pretty good, but on the topic, by the way, directing a new Godzilla movie, so I can't wait for that one. The second reason why I think it's very trivial to people is because Guillermo is doing a kaiju mecha genre, and you know it's kind of hard to do a kaiju mecha genre unless you've had experience before in the past to make it not suck. For example, again, the previous Godzilla, that pretty much was a flop and no one cared for it. Japanese cinematics and movies consist of this genre, not really American. So if you're one of those very few Americans like me who love kaiju films like Mothra and Radon and Godzilla, you'd give this movie a big chance. The good news, there's some good news to this. Guillermo is taking an actual genre and making a film out of that. He's taking the anime mecha kaiju genre and making a live action kaiju mecha genre. 'Cause it's witchcraft. And he's making his own story. He's creating his own robots. He's not copying off other mechas out there. Yes, he's been inspired when he was young, growing up watching anime just like me, and mecha, and probably some of you out there watching this. So this is the right director for this kind of movie. And I could see all the other mecha designs that was incorporated in what he made. So that's good because as a public we can't say this was a terrible Gundam movie or this was a terrible Evangelion movie, because it's not an Evangelion movie, it's not a Big O movie, it's not a Gundam movie, it's Pacific Rim. It's an original movie. But I'm not going into movies with high expectations for this film. I'm going in with low expectations. So if it does turn out to be kind of sucky, then I wouldn't be found saying that's not what I expected, because I came in with low expectations, you know. So, but I do have high hopes for this movie, and I do hope that it does well in the movie. So, and if this is successful, then his plans and ideas of starting a whole kaiju / mecha genre in the United States would be phenomenal, and we have a new genre to add in the United States. It's also a good idea that he's bringing this out now. If it was any earlier, it probably would have flopped more. Our culture is really enveloping the Asian culture more. For example, like Korean music is now really popular. And especially for all those older young men like me who grew up watching Evangelion and Gundam Wing and stuff like that, we could search within ourselves to find a 12-year-old boy and let him out after the movie comes in and we see that robot punching that alien in the face. It's going to be a lot of fun, I think.
This is fun!
Guillermo doesn't want to admit that he's taking ideas from other anime. You can't help the fact that you'll have fans and people out there who love the anime mecha genre to compare this movie to other mecha genres, such as I don't want to say Gundam because Gundam is robot on robot, it's very political, but more like Evangelion, my favorite anime mecha. Basically, the underlying story to Pacific Rim, I don't want to get too much into the story. The story I heard was really good, and that there is an underlying story aside from the fact it's giant robots beating the crap out of giant monsters. But the basic story to this is aliens rise from the Pacific, destroys the world, and man tries to bring back the world by creating giant mechanized robots to pilot and go against those monsters called kaijus. And the pilots are called Jaegers, German for hunters. And every time I hear the trailer though, it's like I hear them say, we commenced the Jaeger project. I swear they're saying we're commencing the Ava project. I don't know if it's just me.
You're just blown to pieces. The Jaeger program was born.
I don't know. It's probably just me because I love Evangelion so much. Basic story to Evangelion, though it's a huge story, the most basic I can describe it is you have monsters coming from space to destroy the world, to wipe out man's original sin. That's the kind of underlining quota in the whole anime. What does mankind do? They go ahead, they have this corporation called Nerve, and they create giant mechanized robots. Sound familiar? And they have whiny teenagers piloting this thing to destroy the monsters, which are called angels there. And their pilots, they're called Ava pilots, not Jaeger pilots. I'm confused. So yeah, you can't help fans like me of the anime mecha genre to not compare about this. And that's the controversial part about it, because you have tons of people like me talking about this, and a lot of people are saying, oh, this is the closest thing we're going to get to a live Evangelion movie, and they're probably not wrong. They're probably right. ADV Films, if you know that, it's an anime studio that had licensed to Evangelion before they went bankrupt, promised as a live-action Evangelion movie, but we never did get that. Which is good, because giant robots seem to be in right now, so it's good for Guillermo to bring this out now. So I support him for that. So thank you, Guillermo. I'm not going to go into movies comparing it, though, because right now this is what this video is halfly about. Me comparing it to another anime I really love. So I can get it off my chest so I won't have to do it later. because I want to go in the movie not comparing it at all. I want to see it as its own film because Guillermo deserves that. He is a passionate lover for the anime mecha genre, and he's grown up watching anime just like me, and I give him props for making this kind of movie, for creating his own robots. And while we're in the comparing process, yeah, I do see some Gundam and Big O and Gunbuster. Even some Evangelion mecha designs in it, but it's its own thing. He designed the robots, he made the story, and he deserves the story to be told. It could go any way. Oh, this movie was crap, it was terrible, it was the worst big robot movie ever. I think the Transformers was better than this. Oh my gosh, that was the best thing ever. I've never seen a movie like that. Oh, I gotta start watching more mecha anime now. It'd be good for the anime scene. It was good, I loved it, whatever, I don't really care. It was just a good movie. My hopes is that this genre does finally get a chance with our culture. So, you know, I'm gonna follow this up with another vlog after I watch the movie, so look forward to that. And as always, rate, comment, subscribe to my channel. I'm Kuya Reviewer, and I'll see you in the next video. Later.